Hello everyone, this is Wartraveller, one of the officers of Phoenix Rising. I come today to talk about a few of the add-ons that I'm using that I've been getting questions about. Some of them are pretty simple, another one could be a little more complicated, but we're going to go over them. And if you have any questions after that, please let me know, and we can try to get them all situated with anything else you guys have, any other add-ons that you guys are using. And if I'm not using them, maybe I can find out some information for you. But let's get started. The first one I'm going to go over with is called O item level. I just started using it recently, and what it does is it tells you the item level of you or anybody else in your party. It will also show you the item level of all your gear, so you don't have to scroll over to find out what the item level is. And it can also do it for bags, even though I'm going to find a way to turn that off because it's kind of annoying when you clean up your bags. It kind of keeps the numbers in the same place, which I don't need all the time. This add-on right here I get from the Curse client, so we're going to go over to that right fast. And it should be, it's going to be right here. What you can do is type in the O, the ILVL, and it should bring it up. If not, you can actually find it in tooltips. And it's just a little ways down. If you come back, go back one. Go back again. And you're going to come down, go down to tooltips. Okay, and if you scroll, if I scroll up right here, it's right here. It's called O item level. And like I said, it just basically tells you the item level of everybody in your group. So if you're starting to do higher mythics and somebody's not pulling their weight, or they're just really geared and they're just not pulling their weight, you're gonna know kind of by what they what their item level is and stuff like that. All right, so we're gonna start with that. And another thing you can do with it, let's go back over here, is if you left click it, you can scroll over a person. Same thing, it tells you what specialization. It also tells you what they've done for a Nighthold. You know, if that's kind of the content you're doing right now. You're doing the Nighthold raid. You've gotten, 15, 20 people, and somebody's pulling like, 100K, and they're a DPS, and you're trying to find out why, and then you find out that they're only an 850 or something like that. Might be a little more understandable, unless they're like an 880 pulling that kind. You kind of got an idea of what's going on. Okay, so that's O item level. Next, we're going to go over pawn. Pawn, what it does, it allows you to check to see if an item is an upgrade for you. But you got to realize it only does it off of stats. It does not do it off of effects of anything. So if I got a trinket here, like this one right here, it grants me 6,000, a little over 600, yeah, 6,000 haste. You have to realize it's not taking that into account. It's just taking out the raw strength. Okay, so when you're comparing trinkets, it's a little bit harder because of the effects sometimes can outweigh a straight up stat stick sometimes, but that's what it does. You come over here and you gotta click on the P for it to open up the window screen for this off your character screen. So click on the P. When you do that, you're probably gonna be there's different windows here you can go through and stuff, and anything like that. On the option screen, I just kind of leave it default. I don't worry about it, because you're gonna sooner or later you're gonna add in your own stat weights. So what you do is you come over here on the left. There's gonna be a lot of them that are like, from Ask Mr. Robot, some other scales. If you got personal scales here, you can have them there, and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get your scales, your pawn strings, to import it. A lot of people are going to be going to Noxic, so we're going to go to Noxic. Let's do it this way. Just type it in. go to noxic.com, and I'm going to look up my character. Okay, I'm playing my paladin, so I'm going to go to my pally. He's retribution, so we're going to go there. Next thing you're going to want to do is go to stat priority and summaries. Now, when you look at this, this is considering that what your strength is, what priority these come in. Okay, mine is strength, haste, crit, versatility, and mastery. This does not take into account how much artifact power you have. It doesn't take into account, like I said, the trinkets you have, if you got rings or legendaries that give you bonuses or something. None of that stuff. It does not take into account any of that. This is basically considering you a fresh 110 getting into your first stuff. Okay, whether it's your raid, dungeons, or whatever. Okay, so as you look down, here it says stat weights. So it tells you what the stat weight of each of these items are, the stats. And it's not usually in any particular order sometimes when you look at them, but this is the way it is on this one. So what you're going to want to do is, right below that, it says pawn string. So you're going to want to highlight that. Next, what you're going to do is going to go Control C. Okay, now you can go back into the game, and this is where you're going to bring it in. Most of the time you'll be sitting on automatic when you start, so you're going to want to go to the manual. So you're going to click on the manual one. Next, you're going to click on import. Okay, then you're going to hit Control V. Now when you hit Control V, it should see one of the last stats is right there. You're going to click OK. Now I've done it several times, so I'm not going to do it with this one, but you just click OK. Next, it'll highlight the one you just brought up most of the time. Okay. Usually on your custom ones at the very top. One of the things you can do with it is if they're like your name, what you do is you come in and you change the name to something you want. For me, I could have put down retribution. I could have put down prot. I could have put down, blood. I can put down, whatever you want to put down for your DPS spec, you can put down. Okay, so that's how we get that. Some of the healing, you can get the healing ones from from Noxic too. They work pretty good. So you can start comparing healing gear too. Okay. Now there is another way to do this, which a lot of high-end raiders use. It's called Simulation Craft. Okay. Now Simulation Craft is a two-part thing. There's an add-on for the game. I'm going to bring that up. Come over here. I'm going to look at mine. Okay, it's called Simulation Craft. We'll go to the website. It's still on Curse, so you're not going anywhere new. Okay, it's called, here you can see where it's called Simulation Craft. This is an add-on for the actual program that you can use to simulate your character's DPS. Okay, so you just download it. The easiest way to do it is install via the Curse client, so it automatically goes into the proper file, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to do is okay. Let me get to the website. If you go to simulationcraft.org, or just look up Simulation Craft in any search bar, you should end up here. Okay. Next thing you can do is you need to download it so you can put it on your computer. Now they do offer the 7-zip for unzipping the file and stuff like that. So you just, if you need that program, or if you have WinRAR, or if you have something else that can unzip a file, you can use those. If you don't, you can use the 7-zip one. Next, you're going to pick whether you have a 64-bit system or 32-bit system using Mac or something like that. Choose on the one you want, and you're going to download it. Okay, and then once you download it, you go over to your downloads folder, and you basically extract it to your desktop. Use this place to get it to your desktop. So let me close down these, because I don't need them up anymore. Yeah, we don't need this up. Okay, next what you're going to have is when you open it for the first time, it should look something like this. It'll say Simulation Craft Legion at the top. And you're going to have all this stuff right here. And don't worry. This right here is just an introduction page. You don't have to worry about it. So the next thing I want you to do is you're going to go into Options. Now here's where you change a bunch of stuff. Well, not a whole lot of stuff, but you change a few things to simulate what is going on during the fights. Okay, because you're basically simulating a boss fight. Most of the stuff I leave normal. One of the things I do change though is called fight style. I change it to light movement. That way, you know, a lot of the fights there's a little bit of movement, where you might have to go and like say Croesus light movement fight. You know, some of the other fights in there, they're not where you're moving constantly all the time. So I like to put them as light movement. You do have options to go to a patchwork style, which is just basically you never move. You're just there on the boss. It's only the boss. You can have a hectic add cleave, which would be like the first Scorpion fight. You know, they have a few other ones in here. If you want really heavy movement, you know, like on some of the fights where you have to run across this room till you got to get the add, kill it, and then you got to run back the other way. So there's some of those too. You choose anything you want, but like I said, I usually choose the light movement fights. Now for enemies, we're here in the middle. We're in target and tanking options in the middle. You can choose however many adds. If you're doing mythics, you could keep it on mythics too, where like you can put down because the raid bosses are kind of like a mythic boss mostly, depending on, because we start doing the higher stuff. So you might want to choose where on, you know, the normal trash in that dungeon are going to be like 3 to 4, you know, so you choose one of those numbers and stuff like that. You run it like that, and then after that you can leave the rest of it pretty much the same, because I mean, unless you're going for a specific enemy. I mean, I know there's some of them that have demons, some of them that have undead, but it's not going to make it that big of a deal if you just go with that. Pretty much the rest of it on this screen you can leave alone, and we're going to move to the next screen. Okay, so on the buffs and debuffs, I don't worry about it. Okay, it's just going to plot in all this stuff anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. Then we go to scaling. Now in scaling, what you're going to have to do is enable scaling. So you're going to enable it, then you're going to go to the bottom and toggle all character stats. That way it puts everything on. The only one I turn off is the latency one, because I'm not really worried about latency that much, because we all have it. That should be all you have to do. Now we're ready to import our character. Now there's two ways to do it. Battle.net doesn't seem to work anymore, because I think they changed their forums and their whole Battle.net character screens, so it's not that on there that much. So the easiest way to do it is through the SimulCraft add-on, which you should have downloaded, and you should have it in your WoW. So when you start up WoW again, okay, you're gonna you'll be sitting like this. All you gotta do is go /SIMC. You hit enter. Now you'll see the screen that's bringing up like this, okay, where it's pretty much all your characters and everything you got. Okay, you have to hit Control-C, and that copies it. Okay, then you go Tab. Now when you first open the add-on, there's going to be some words here. I don't know what they say. You can just delete them. You want a blank screen, then you're going to go Control V. Now I don't know why it's doing the stuff in the bags. I don't worry about that right now. It's kind of nice because you get a lot of IDs for them. The main part you really got to worry about is everything where above where it says gear from bags all the way up to your name. Okay. Now after that, what we do is we come over here to where it says import on the right hand corner. You're going to click on that and you're going to import. So you import that. Now that doesn't take very long. So now that that's done, you can just say simulate. Now you're waiting for the results. Now here's a couple of little tips. If you're just wanting to change around your talents, not really worry about changing your gear or anything like that, the easiest way to do it, instead of having to do the copy pasting all the time, okay, is just to go in here where it says talents in Simulation Craft. Okay, each number corresponds with the number in the talent tree. So the first number is your level 15 traits, with the numbers going from left to right, 1, 2, 3. So as you see in mine right now, my level 15 talent is my talent number 1. Okay, so all you got to do is come in here, and if I wanted to change that to talent 2, I put in a 2 in that spot. So you can do that with any of them. Okay, any way you want to do it. It makes it easy. Maybe one talent might not be as nice to you as another one. You want to try it out, whatever. But everything else, as far as gear goes, you're gonna have to sit there and do them individually. It takes too long to do the ID stuff. It's a pain in the butt. It's just easier to do that. So what you do is you wait, and as you can see in the bottom right hand side, it's telling you what is scaling right at the moment. It's scaling my haste right now, and you give it a minute or two, and it should finish here pretty quickly. Going to the mastery right now, versatility. Now, just because this gives you a certain stat order, you may find that your stats work a little bit better for your particular play style, a little bit different. A lot of characters run off haste, and you may find out that you need more haste, even though it could be number 2 or number 3 in the priority list off of this. That could be just because of, the program has a set stat of where you should be at on your stats. Like, let's say 25% is what they've got haste set at for your particular class, then it, would stop at the 25% haste and tell you need other stats. But for you personally, you might like it at 30%. So that's a judgment call. It's not set in stone or anything like that. Alright, the results are in. Now, you gotta remember, this is a single target fight. It's not like, there's a ton of AoE with light movement. According to this thing, I should be pulling out 608,000 DPS. Now, this is in perfect conditions, of that fight. Okay, where the gods have shined on you and everything procced the way you needed it to and all that stuff. So you may be doing a little bit less. You might be doing around that much. It's a good way to look at it, though. Okay, so that's my damage. These are just some of the stuff you don't really have to worry about. These are just your spells right here, your talents and stuff, your artifact, how many points you got in, the total you can have. And I believe that's actually wrong. I think I got a couple more points than that. Here's all your artifact abilities and stuff. Professions. Now here's the one you're looking for. Scale factors for my particular character for damage per second. Okay, so you're looking at the ranking. Now weapon damage, versatility, equals strength, equals crit, equals attack power, haste, mastery, and then run speed. So Now I'm going to go down here. Now you get your new pawn string. Okay. You can actually take and do the same thing. Go from parentheses to parentheses, and you're going to Control C this. Bring it back into the game. Okay, you can get rid of this. Okay. And you're going to go back to your character screen. Bring up your pawn again. And you can re-import the new one in. And you just do the Control V. That will paste it here. You click OK. And it should be on one of your profiles. You can even click on a profile. Import it first. You know, put the thing on here, Control V it, press OK, and it will rewrite what that one is. Okay. That's pretty much it on the few add-ons that people have been asking me about. Like I said, they're not all set in stone. You know, sometimes your judgment is better than what any program can tell you. But if you have any questions, hit me up and we'll go over them. I can answer them in Discord or I can answer them in guild chat. Don't make a difference to me. If you're having big problems with it and you need like Skype or something like that, let me know and I'll see what we can do. But other than that, I think I'm done for now. Those are the 4 add-ons that I want to tell everybody about so they can know how to use them, how to improve, and keep on getting epic loot. Alright, thanks a lot, have a good one, and I will talk to everybody later. Enjoy.